So we're doing stereo tuners. Smells like oranges.
Smells like oranges.
Kind of smells like anusol. Wait,
Anusol?
maybe that's not what it's called.
You mean autosol? Hi, my name's Scott Davey. This is Davey Guitar Works, and we're going to take this bass and just get it ready for stage. I can show you a world. We're building a bit of space, and it's on its way. Some benches.
So Scott has been doing my guitars, I don't know, for a while? I don't know.
20 minutes.
It's been a while. It's been a while since everything.
Some benches. We're going to do some pickup building, some pickup winding, and then making some bodies. Yeah, and I've got a few technicians just coming in and just working on nice projects. It's kind of nice to be able to hang out with people that do the same stuff, enjoy what they do, and make it a bit more relaxed. So we've got a bass guitar. It's fresh, haven't seen it, and we're just going to tune it up, nice and easy.
It's so fresh that it still has all the stickers and everything.
Okay, wow, yeah. That is real fresh.
What do you call it? The wrap on the tuners?
Yep, inspection check, assembly, setup, finish.
Initial thoughts?
Yeah, that's pretty smooth. Shout out Heath. Thank you, Fender. But yeah, let's just see how it kind of plays. We'll get some numbers on it, check the neck, make sure it's all activated and in tune, and just get ready for stage. Bound from New Zealand.
I'm usually not a burst fan. I'm like, you know me, I like black. Scott actually put a kill switch in my Meteora, but I don't think it's worth putting a kill switch in a bass, considering we have volume and tone. Traditionally, I've also just ripped off the tone knob because I don't use it.
So this is like a smooth transition here, but like some of the earlier, I suppose like Japanese bursts that you'd see, it's just 3 colors and it's so raw.
Yeah, I think these are now made in Indonesia, yeah.
Yes. Well, we're just gonna do the classic.
So
Fender key. Oh, wrong size. What have they got on it now?
how does weather affect truss rod adjustment or?
The wooden parts want to be a tree, you know, and just like the timber shop we've got downstairs and a lot of the wood generally, it grows and it breathes. And this is metal and timber kind of pressurized together. So if it gets a lot of humidity, gets a lot of moisture, it'll kind of flex. It dries up and kind of shrink a little bit. Just gonna have a quick gander of these frets. Pat down some of the frets when they've gotten them and left some glue marks. Kind of tell right there. And then over here as well. They could clean up after their setup, that'd be great.
I feel like, so people freak out about truss rod adjustments. Is it scary?
Yes, it's terrifying. All you're doing is basically the strings want to move one way, the neck wants to move another way, and you kind of get them to talk nicely to each other.
Spoken from the man himself. Don't fear the truss rod.
Not all Allen keys are made the same. Designed in California, they're American. They love the metric system, but it's slightly different. So if you start using Imperial Allen keys against them, you might strip the truss rod. If you use the right tool to begin with, you're in a better spot. And that was a big old hoop before, sitting like this, because all the pressure of the strings, and we've now allowed it to kind of push back into place. Little fret rocker, it's a nice thing. Flatness.
Yeah.
Just making sure we get, now that I have seen and made sure that the neck itself is flat, even when the string's loose, I just want to make sure that I start with a nice, flat, even surface. Yeah, we're getting nice, solid, no rock. So this is like a specific tool, but essentially it's just a flat bit of metal with different size.
And do you normally measure 3 at a time? Is that kind
Always,
of the, yeah.
Always 3, because imagine you're trying to figure out if the one in the middle is higher, then it will rock. So we're winding some pickups, and apparently everything has to be drawn on a napkin. It's kind of like an automatic thing. We've got some programs that we've built for it to reproduce scatter winding. Look, I'm going to leave this to the internet to have a really fun time discussing why, if it's good or bad. But to be able to produce the same scatter wind twice, because it's normally done by hand, it's pretty difficult to do. So we've been just developing some programs to be able to not only get a sound that we can make once, but make twice.
Scott told me to get these, so I got them.
A little bit more bite. They're the NYXLs. They have more nickel and the nickel wound last a bit longer. They kind of look like a Lynx packet, you know, like deodorant. That's the vibe that I get from it.
I'm using Lynx Africa on my bass.
So we're just going to take off some of these light bits of glue that were left around these frets. Cleaning it up. but we don't want that sitting on the bass neck. Come on, buddy. Lifting it up a tiny bit.
And is that's not a file, is it? It's just like a...
Apparently everything in a workshop is a chisel. One of the things I find a lot of it is that you've got 2 single coils. The low E string will sit over one, the middle 2 will sit over both.
So the middle's way louder.
It can be, yeah. So we'll kind of balance that out a little bit and see the best of it. We can balance that a little bit, push the center down and raise the pickup up. And once we start listening to it with those fresh NYXL strings,
Lynx Africa.
Lynx Africa, then we can kind of make sure it is doing as best it can. A little bit of tape. Let's get these strings out.
So how many techs you got now?
3. So full-time touring techs that come in and help out, and I'm slowly converting them into shop techs. Shop teching and also touring teching, we can kind of go from like, hey, right now we're getting this ready for tour, so we've got a pretty good idea what we're trying to produce with it. But say if the neck fell apart, we can also fix that.
Davey Guitar Works, y'all.
I always love taking the plastic off scratch plates. I'll just loosen this off. I mean, all this stuff should be pretty approachable. Like, don't be worried about messing with your guitar a little bit and having some fun with it.
I definitely agree with you there, because a lot of the time I feel like a dickhead asking, like at a certain touring level, I feel like people just expect that you know everything. And I know nothing. I leave it to people that know what they're doing.
Let's have a good conversation about it, and just make it like 2 friends talking about anything really, rather than it being like a, you know, gatekeeperish kind of like, this is what we should be doing. Shout out to Mitch Clues for selling me that beautiful guitar.
Finally playing the game.
Yeah. There we go. No little bits of plastic. So this is a really cool book. Kind of the history of it, and then the brands that they were responsible for. I'm just gonna set a little bit of prep for the neck, and the ends are sitting really nicely, so I don't want to kind of re-crown or do anything to them.
Brother, what's that?
This is just a kit and compound polish. It's an automotive thing, but it's really happy on necks.
Anusol? Wait.
Anusol?
Maybe that's not what it's called.
You mean autosol?
Autosol.
Yeah, anusol. No, it's exactly like anusol.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Real good on your hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Your frets are fine, but your hemorrhoids are going wild. So you can see here, I'm just kind of getting some of the micro scratches and stuff out.
So what's the use of using kitten
Cut polish? It's a little bit more abrasive.
And how's that go with wood and everything? Because obviously there's people that are purists and like, oh, you can only use lemon oil on this and...
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, like, there's different opinions about all of it. I would say that from doing a lot of timber work, like, necks like this are actually a lot stronger than people believe. If I was doing it on a vintage instrument that was a little bit more upsetting or a bit softer, obviously I wouldn't be this harsh with it. But with a brand new, nice, easy neck, you can really kind of get products on it and off of it, and it'll be fine. So, with setups like this, there's different levels to it. We consider this to just be a part of our standard setups, which is what we're kind of aiming for today. After this, we do more detailed stuff with like Dremels and different buffing compounds and different orbital devices to make sure that we get the most out of it. As a passionate nerd of guitar, I've spent probably a quarter amount of time that you have on the internet just sitting there endlessly looking at different ways and producing this, and then going through and trying them all out with my technicians. So we'll get a little bit of the old autosol going on there. I'll see if it kind of produces a result that we like. I'll be cleaning the neck up after this, and you can see there's really no damage or anything to the actual fretboard itself. It's a little bit worn because we've still got the cream on the either side of it, but once we go through and oil this properly, it'll come up very, very nicely. So right now, we're just focusing on the metal and making sure we get that nice mirror finish. So now we've put a bunch of products on the neck. I'm going to take all of that gunk and everything off. Vodka. Talk to some woodworkers generally, and talk to people about other products that exist. People say that like the acidic nature of some of the lemon oils can be a thing. Obviously Dunlop have taken out all of the acidic parts of it, but there are other things that you can like use for your neck, and definitely don't just experiment. Or if you've got like a guitar and a wild attitude, why not? But orange oil is another one that has been really quite useful for a lot of people. They just enjoy the smell a bit more. What do you think?
Smells like oranges.
Smells like oranges.
Kind of smells like orangello.
Yeah. Now this nut here, for example, later on we'll change this. It's a bit of true bone, and although it's nice, it's fancy plastic in a way. You either put a brass one or a nice solid piece of bone through there. This is probably the classic image of like doing guitar teching, someone rubbing the guitar with a cloth. No, they used to have like a really fun sticker that you put on. In fact, I think Dave still has one on his.
Inflation, no more stickers.
Yeah, just destroyed it.
So for this tour, it's all E standard except for one song. So that's why we kind of went down this path.
Popping all this stuff in.
And I believe that's why we tour spare instruments.
Yep, exactly.
I don't have a spare on this run.
And because these are what I call drop tops, we're just going to do it to 2 peg heads across. Give it a quick buzz. So to increase the angle, allows it to sit in the nut really happily. If you do find that there's multiple grooves to it, what we're trying to do is the spacing of the string from the nut all the way down lives against this. And different pickups will have a position where it sits really nicely for the pickup. So we want these strings to sit in between these, and they're doing that quite happily. But if I had multiple choices, I could move it over a tiny bit.
So we're doing stereo tuners, because it's a stereo instrument, right?
The idea here is that we're going to use both to get it in tune, and then we're going to use it to fine tune as well. If I won the lottery, no one would know, but there't be signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a gold-plated strobo tune.
Yeah, it's got a cold-plated strobo tune.
Yeah, if I won the lotto, the sign would be in the
Music. Oh, the sound of joy to my ears. Fresh strings, clean bass, everything's where it should be. And now we can start doing the fine tuning.
Yeah, well, I normally play 11s on a guitar, and I normally lay in pretty heavy.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if that's the technical analysis of my playing.
Yeah, I mean...
I play with pick.
You play bass with a pick?
The whole time.
Get out. No, of course, yeah, 100%. And so that allows me to kind of understand that I'm going to set it up nice and evenly with a little bit more bounce to it, just so that we can really kind of get those strings to play comfortably and cleanly all the way along.
For this, it's the Veronicas, so it's a lot of just rock
Picking.
hop, yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm just pumping these up a little bit and evening them out. And then I'm going to go through and make sure that the radius is nice and happy as well. After we've set the whole thing up and I think I've got it really nicely, I'll get you to play it for a little bit and just see if it talks to you in the way that you want to.
Oh.
Take a pick from the skull. This used to be a cereal bowl for me, but I might give you a little bit more space on that lower string, just a tiny touch up. I would say that really nice fresh strings when the action's set up. One thing I did as well was I just moved the pickups a little bit.
You guys ever get flamed by your guitar tech?
Little grit there, we're just going to raise that up so it's just a bit tighter and matches the rest of the strings. My name's Scott, and this is Davey Guitar Works.